Okay. Alright, welcome to Jenny's Food Network. Okay, someone has a question. Okay, I'm doing a video response in regards to my video titled Smoothie, Strawberry, Banana, Kale, and Whole Milk. Okay, because I was demonstrating how to make a smoothie with the ingredients that I had. So this wonderful person said, looks good. Do the fruits have to be frozen for it to taste better? I was going to buy some strawberries. I was going to make this with blueberries, oranges, bananas, grapes, kale, and almonds. Okay. Alright, so for the fruits, for it to be frozen for it to taste better, that's the question. If you like a really cold, chilled, like a smoothie, ice cream type of thickness, type of smoothie taste to it as well, then freezing your fruits would help a lot, okay? Like I said, if necessary, you might have to freeze half of your fruits, okay? Like, for example, bananas, okay, you can go ahead and freeze your strawberries if you want, or if you have fresh ones, up to you. But you decide, as you start making smoothies, you'll start to understand what you have available, what you should freeze, or what you should not freeze, you know? If you feel that your fruits are starting to spoil pretty soon, then go ahead and freeze those, okay? And if you have some refrigerated temperature fruits, then you don't have to freeze them, because like I said, the more frozen the fruits are, the more it's going to be really hard to blend in the blending machine. And you're going to have to add in a lot of liquid for it to even spin around, okay, to blend your smoothie. And you're going to have a really diluted, nasty smoothie. It's not going to be very tasty, okay? So, like for my bananas, I usually leave my bananas at room temperature in the kitchen. And I do have some frozen strawberries, okay, that are 100% frozen, okay? And on a hot day, or when I feel that the bananas are kind of room temperature, kind of warm, so I would like, for a thicker smoothie, I would peel the bananas and put in a container with a lid to keep the smell out, you know, to not have like a freezer burn flavor to it. So I would cap the bananas, I would break them into like 2-3 inches apart, you know, so it's easier to blend, because if you put like a half of a banana piece in there, it might be kind of hard to blend, okay? So break up the bananas a bit, and then cover it with a lid and put it in the freezer, and let it freeze halfway if you like, okay? Or until you're ready to use it. And that works perfect with my 5 to 8 pieces of strawberries, and I use about 3 bananas, and I add like a whole bunch full of kale. If you watch my smoothie video with the strawberry, banana, kale, and whole milk, you'll see what I did, okay? Right now, if you can't understand what I mean, you could watch that video and you'll know what I'm talking about. So, yes, I believe using frozen fruits does make it taste better, and it makes it not spoil as fast, because let's say if all of your veggies and fruits, of course, are not frozen, okay, it's going to be very runny, and you're not going to need much liquid. You could probably use 1/4 cup of liquid, you know, for it to blend, and you won't need much liquid, okay, because it's going to break up so easily. But if you freeze half of it, then it's going to be thicker, okay? It's going to give you more of like a custard or like a ice cream type of texture type of smoothie, which is really yummy. And I like to have it half frozen at least half frozen. I like it that way because it's thicker, the flavor tastes better, it's not too watery, and the thing is, it kind of preserves it better. It doesn't make your smoothie spoil that quickly. Because if I make a smoothie at let's say 11 in the morning, okay, I make a smoothie with half frozen stuff, you know, where the strawberries frozen, but then the bananas are half frozen or not frozen at all. Let's say if it's room temperature. That smoothie would last me from 11 in the morning until 9 at night if I make a big batch, okay? But if you try making a room temperature where the fruits and vegetables are refrigerated at 40 degrees at a refrigerated temperature, and if you blend that, it's going to blend very quickly. It's not going to clump up compared to like the frozen ones, okay? But it's going to be more runnier, and it's not going to be as thick, and you're not going to need much liquid, okay? Like I said, it's based on experiment. As long as you keep making your smoothies homemade, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll start experimenting, and you decide what works for you, okay? And sometimes you don't have time to freeze them, you know? And, you know, it's up to you. If you want to put it in the freezer for about 2 to 4 hours, and you decide how you want to do that, okay? And if you want to substitute to make your smoothie a little thicker, you can add just like a little bit, like 1/4 cup of water, and you can add ice cubes. That could make it more thicker into a smoothie, okay? If you want your fruits to be really, really cold, you know, and kind of thick, then you can add ice cube. But watch with your liquid, okay? The more frozen it is, the harder and clumpy it is, the more liquid you're gonna have to add into the blender, okay? So you decide what works for you, and just give it a try, and then you'll know, okay? And you said that you're going to buy some strawberries. I was going to make this with blueberries, oranges, bananas, grapes, kale, and almond. Just to let you know, the grapes, oh my goodness. You can even make a grape smoothie by itself. Grapes are so super sweet, believe me. Especially the red grapes, black grapes, oh, those things are super sweet. The green ones are a little sour, but the red grapes and black grapes, they look kind of like dark blue. Those are so super sweet. Even like the dark purple grapes, those are really, really sweet. So you don't need that many grapes just to make a smoothie because they're so super sweet already. You can use water or like almond base or cow milk base, you know, whatever you like, okay, to blend that. And for the oranges, for oranges, watch out if you want to use oranges to put in your blender. Be careful what kind of oranges you pick. I recommend you using oranges that are like seedless, because if you have seeds, even if it's just a little bit of seeds, it's gonna make your smoothie bitter. It's really gross. So if you want oranges, it's kind of a hassle. I don't like to use oranges because I think they're too fibrous and it makes the smoothie way too thick, you know? So I highly recommend you not using oranges, but if you feel like you really, really want to, then go ahead. It's gonna make your smoothie really, really heavy in fiber. And you're better off just eating the oranges separately because it's just way too much fiber. It's better off just eating it separately. But if you want your oranges, go ahead. Make sure they're seedless, okay? And make sure you get the type of orange that is like juicy and softer. There's some oranges that are really, really super fibrous and they're not that juicy, but it's kind of hard because when you go to the grocery store, the oranges look fresh, but when you bring it home, they're not in good quality, so it depends. So I highly recommending not putting oranges in there. Just eat it separately. It's gonna make your smoothie taste really weird, but it's up to you. You decide. Okay, like I said, the good question, you know, was about should it be frozen for better taste. I think it tastes so much better when it's got that ice cream texture of custard thickness, and it makes your smoothie stay fresh longer, okay? And it tastes so yum. Even after 4 hours, your smoothie will still taste good in the refrigerator if you have leftovers, okay? You could even freeze it for about an hour, but don't forget, when it starts getting close to an hour, it's gonna get like half frozen. So make sure you put it in for 30 minutes and then take it back out and drink it, and you can put it back in the refrigerator temperature, okay? So you decide how you want to do this. It's based on experiment. And like I said, if they're not frozen, you know, the fruits, it's gonna be very watery. It's gonna have a more spoiling taste. Like the bananas will start ripening really fast, and your banana's gonna give that spoiling flavor very easily. So if you want to use bananas, make sure the other fruits are kind of half frozen or frozen, okay? Do half and half frozen and half room temperature or refrigerate temperature. If you don't have that if your ingredient that's frozen, that's very small quantity, then you're gonna want to freeze more of the bananas halfway or something, because, you know, I mean, you work it from there. It's part of being creative, and you know, and it depends on the quality of your blender. If you have the cheap $50 to $100, some of those still don't even blend well at all. They're horrible. The one I have is $300. The commercial grade Waring brand, that's the bomb, man. That's $300. So that's really, really awesome. If you have the cheap ones, it makes you not even want to do to make smoothies because they're so like clumpy and the ice is still really crunchy, like rocks. Because I used to have the cheap ones too. Alright, we're going to go into our next video. Thanks for watching.